Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and it is grand final weekend in the Hume branch of cricket. Albury-Wodonga. Steve Bennett's on the line with me to preview all the action. And Steve, hard to believe it's already grand final weekend. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks went very quickly indeed, Dan. We were sort of just moving along slowly, and all of a sudden, we're here at the last Saturday for this season.
It's been action-packed with the T20 comp going on the Sundays as well. So the last 6 to 8 weeks or so have just been flat out since the new year pretty much. But here we are. We've arrived at grand final day, and it was in the A grade, Walla Walla and Osborne getting wins on the weekend. So that will be our grand final matchup. We'll preview that in just a moment, but let's have a look at how we got here. First of all, Walla Walla with, a really exciting looking game here, and Holbrook showing why you need to keep all your wickets, because Holbrook all out for 142, just 13 runs short of Walla Walla's 8 for 155.
Yeah, and they still had time. They were out in the second last ball of the 37th over, so they certainly had time to get the runs. It was just a matter of maintaining wickets. But credit to Walla. They obviously bowled very well, took wickets at key moments. As you said, Walla made 155, and really it was a bit of a lone stand for Mark Taylor. We've talked about him a few times during the year. 54 not out. They were 2 for 25 in a bit of trouble. Managed to get 155 with Kieran McCarthy taking 3 wickets for Holbrook. He's actually a Holbrook junior, but he played at Walla for a few years, and now he's back at Holbrook. So they all know each other pretty well. Louis Bowen taking 2 wickets.
And the tail was wagging just a little bit for Holbrook. They went from 7 for 96, and you would have thought at that point they were no chance of winning, but they went from there to all out for 142 to give themselves a shot. But it just goes to show that you need to use all 40 overs, and Walla have done just enough to get through. So really, really good preliminary final there. And in our other one, it was Osborne winning convincingly over Brock-Burrum. 4 for 189 they scored. Brock-Burrum a fair way behind at 9 for 163. So not a massive blowout, but convincing from Osborne. Yeah,
they obviously batted very well, Osborne. They batted first, and they were 1 for none. Lost a wicket off the very first ball of the innings. Yeah, that meant that soon enough the Perryman brothers came together, and as they have done all year, both had very good innings. Joe very aggressive with the bat, 64 off 85, and Ed more the sheet anchor, 61 off 119. But 189's that's a pretty good score. You'd take that every day of the week in a final, batting first.
Absolutely. That's going to be a hard score to top, and that was the case for Brock-Burrum. They weren't able to quite get there. So it's season over for Brock-Burrum and Holbrook, and Brock-Burrum defending champions. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. They'd won the last 2 premierships. Yeah, obviously went very close to getting a crack at defending it again. Yeah, Osborne have lost the last 2 preliminary finals against Brock-Burrum. So they'll be pleased to get a chance at playing for the trophy.
All right, so the stage is set. Walla Walla taking on Osborne, and the game will be played at Walla Walla. Now, is that because they qualified higher, or does it just rotate and a different club hosts each year?
The former, yeah. Because they were the highest finisher, they get to choose. They don't have to play at home; they can play anywhere. But nobody normally goes anywhere else. So yes, they'll play at home, and this will be the second grand final they've hosted in 3 years. I'm just trying to think. 3 years. So, and their third. This will be their third grand final since the comps came together 6 years ago.
Okay, well there you have it. They were top all year, so certainly no surprise to see them there. And it is going to be a thriller this weekend. Let's have a look at the seconds, because there were a couple of thrillers here. It will be Colcan and Brock-Burrum playing off in the grand final, and I'm intrigued by this Brock-Burrum v Osborne game. It was very tight. Osborne batting first, making 8 for 141, and Brock-Burrum getting there 5 for 144 with just 1 over to spare. So really came down to the last few balls.
Yeah, it did, and Brock-Burrum had never beaten Osborne in the B grade before since the comps had come together, so they certainly picked the right weekend to put together the first one. Osborne, their batting never got going. The youngest player of the side, Will Howard, made 56 not out. He's a very promising junior. Really, without that sort of last wicket partnership he put together with Will O'Connell for 39, the score would have been considerably lower. So Osborne didn't really bat to their potential. Brock-Burrum batted very well and bowled very well. And then, Brock-Burrum were able to pace their innings and batted quite well. Will Howard took a couple of wickets and Jason Weaven top scoring with 45. So, Brock-Burrum into their first B-grade grand final in the Hume comp.
Good all-round effort from Brock-Burrum, and they go marching on to the grand final. In the other game, it was Culcairn taking down Lockhart, not quite as close. Culcairn 5 for 137, Lockhart all out for 115 with just the 8 balls to spare. So even if they weren't all out, it would have been a real stretch for them to get that total.
Yeah, certainly would have been a tall order. Culcairn 137 is not a massive score. Lockhart have been on top all year for a good reason. They're a very good bowling side. Their batting does occasionally let them down, but their bowling more than compensates a lot of the time. Culcairn, Steve Brand making 56, 137, and they obviously bowled very well. Lockhart went from 1 for 40 to 7 for 74, so the damage was certainly done in the middle of the innings with Culcairn's Jesse Kent taking 5 for 21. Jesse's been a long-time B-grade player. Really good to see him have success. He's a good fella and he's very loyal to the Culcairn club.
Brock-Burrum and Culcairn this weekend. So who's the tip for this one?
Brock-Burrum will play at home. They've got a good side. They've had a bit of late season resurgence with Jason Weaven joining them, playing a bit of cricket from mid-year. He's batted very well. So, they've got they've got a pretty good batting lineup. Davey Williams doesn't often miss out a couple of weeks in a row, and he's had a couple of low scores, so he might be just ready to tee off. The trick for Culcairn, I think, will be bowling very well. They'll back themselves if they've got Steve Brand and a couple of blokes to support him. They'll certainly back themselves. But, Brock-Burrum at home, as I said, they haven't made a B-grade grand final. They've got quite a few long-term B-grade players in there. They probably go in slight favourites.
Let's move to the under-16s now because it's grand final week in the juniors too. And the question is, can anyone stop Culcairn? 7 for 269 from their 40 overs as they dominated Osborne, had them all out for 44. Brock-Burrum are the only team with a chance because they beat Holbrook to qualify as the other team in the grand final. So Brock-Burrum and Culcairn in this one as well, and Culcairn looking almost unstoppable. Yeah,
Culcairn have been undefeated. They've certainly played very well all year. They've been very consistent, batted well. Their bowling's been good. They've won twice as many games as Brock-Burrum, as you mentioned. Very difficult, but cricket finals are a funny thing. You have a team where a couple of guys make the runs every week. You take a few wickets, they get rattled. You just never know. So Brock-Burrum will be hoping to probably try and get some early wickets and put a bit of pressure on the Culcairn batting order. But if the Culcairn batsmen get away, it could be a big score.
Okay, and wrapping up the grand final day action, it will be the under-13s, and again, it will be the undefeated team looking to finish off the undefeated season with a grand final victory. Holbrook, I'm talking about, and their challenger will be Henty. Holbrook beat Culcairn to qualify, and Henty had a pretty tight win over Osborne.
Yeah, Holbrook have, as you said, been undefeated. They've been a great side this year. They've won twice as many games as the team that came second, 10-5, and that was Henty. So, as we said for the earlier game, and junior cricket is quite interesting in that, wickets can come in clumps and people can all of a sudden get a roll on when they're batting, so it can be a little unpredictable. We play a different format where balls are limited and things like that, so you also have the variation of batsmen coming and going and things like that. So, look, I think it'll be a great game. It'd be very hard to tip against Holbrook, but Henty will go down. They've got a very seasoned coach. This will be the battle of the coaches, two very experienced junior coaches. So, yeah, it'll be a great game, and I think Holbrook at home will be very hard to beat.
Heaps of exciting action in the Hume branch of cricket, Albury-Wodonga this weekend with grand finals left, right and centre. Good luck to everyone involved. Hopefully you're walking home with a medal or whatever gets handed out for the winning team. But of course, everyone can't win, so hopefully it's a great slate of games all round. Steve, thank you very much. Last preview for the year done, and you'll be back on next week and we'll wrap up the season.
Yeah, we can rake over the coals next week, see what happened.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Steve.